Okay, at this time then, there's some information, Commissioner Fund has some information about the legislative action going on, so, and if there's other questions, feel free to come up and ask them, and
Should we ask the press first to come up? If they have any?
Aaron, any questions? Okay, you might have some after some of the discussion, so.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. In terms of the legislature, when you look at the Senate and House budget, it has a lot of concerns for us. And I've asked Wes Wethroll to come up and talk about what it means for Department of Corrections and the jail in the budget and the adverse effect on our budget as a result of if this bill passes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Wes Wethroll, Undersheriff with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office. With this proposed legislation, if it does go through, essentially what it says is that folks that are serving or potentially going to serve time within DOC, they'll no longer serve that time in DOC. They'll be remanded back to local custody for anything less than a year and a day, which means that local taxpayers are going to have to pay for that. The other problem that we're going to have with this legislation is there is that potential if they do cut terms short, whether it's in a state facility or whether it's in a local facility, those individuals that should be serving time for the crimes that they did commit will essentially be out early and essentially free to commit more crimes. The other piece to the legislation that is concerning to us, and as the commissioners well know, since Sheriff Snaza took over and even previously under Sheriff Mansfield, we have vacancies within our Corrections Bureau. We have a facility that can house over 350 inmates, but with current staffing levels, we really can't go any higher than 250. Anytime we have more than 200 in our facility, we have to put extra staff on the floor with minimum staffing. Well, with our vacancies, it's very, very difficult for us. We run anywhere from 4 vacancies upwards of 9 vacancies. And if they reduce the DOC time, in other words, the time that someone convicted of a crime would be spending in a state facility and they're remanded back to local facilities, although we have the bed space for that, it would cost us more, and we don't have the people. And depending on the impact as far as how many of those individuals would be remanded back to local custody, that could be a huge strain on already strained staff with the vacancies that we have. So, really for us at the local level, we're going to get hit, potentially 3 different ways, whether it's the potential for more crime within our communities, or if those individuals are going to be housed at the local level, it costs us well over $90 a day to house an inmate over there. The local taxpayers are going to have to pick that up, and everybody's budgets are tight. And frankly, we just don't have the people to potentially increase the number of inmates that we may get as a result of this legislation.
And isn't it not true that if we get to that high point, and we've been taking other prisoners in from other counties and municipalities, I understand the jail budget's $7 million, and I think last year we had $2 million come in to offset that $7 million because other entities were paying us. If we are filled with DOC people, we could not take those people in, so it will cost us more in staffing, and it will also cost us less $2 million we get from other municipalities if we're full.
Yes, that would very much impact our ability to serve other contracts that we have, whether it's through Thurston County or whether it's through Olympia Police Department, or currently we have a contract with Mason County Sheriff's Office as well. So yes, that could impact our ability to house their inmates as well. you also have to understand, this isn't going to just impact Lewis County. This is going to impact Thurston County. It's going to impact Olympia Police Department. It's going to impact Mason County. And so, therefore, they will probably have more people in their facilities as well. So just, I mean, all around from that standpoint, this has the potential to severely impact really all counties.
Yes, and I know they're trying to do some savings to pay for education, and it may not cost on the state level, but when you get to the local level, the county folks, taxpayers will have to pay for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was also going to mention indigent defense. There's a small bill in the legislature, and I've mentioned it previously, $950,000, and that's for all counties and municipalities, does not really help us. We spent last year $1.2 million on indigent defense. $200,000 of that was reimbursed by the state, so we still have $1 million that the Supreme Court said is the state's responsibility, but once again, saves money at the state level, but then we at the local have to pay for that. And the bill on public disclosure is moving through the system. It will help. We expect about $500,000 being spent on public disclosure this year, so that's another big hit to our budget. So we are working hard at the legislature. I know that Sheriff Snaz is going to be speaking to the bill on Department of Corrections on Thursday, and we're going to be up at the legislature talking to our legislators saying, you know, we appreciate a balanced budget on the state level, but we at the county level, with some of the things that are put down to us on other unfunded mandates, it's really tough on us. So. Anything else? Yes.
So now where's the good news?
Maybe.
We're waiting for the, and here we go. CJ
Yes,
right here.
CJ,
go.
good news.
So I'm CJ Neer with from Packwood, and the commissioners granted Destination Packwood awarded us a grant for managing a Lewis County Fair booth at the Washington State Fair in Puyallup for the month of September. And we have sent out, with the help of the commissioners, letters to all the organizations and the communities asking for collaboration in staffing those 20 days. And I would just like to ask for your continued support and for the communities to reach out and sign up and help us. It's a great effort for countywide work in tourism.
I'm wondering if some of the Grange folks would like to help us out there. They're shaking their head. Yes.
That'd be great, yeah.
I know this is one thing on, as far as the LTAC committee, we had, one of the things that we had requested that, that people collaborate and work together, obviously, to support each other's venues, whether that would be the Blueberry Festival, whether that be, the Jubilee, or whatever we're doing in the community. So anyway, that was one of the requests. So I'm hoping that a lot of the other people that have received LTAC funding will take a look at that and say that would be a great place to not only promote Lewis County and tourism in Lewis County, but also their individual event too. So I think that's one of the things, and we have not met yet with the LTAC committee, but I know that we'll see what we can do. That's coming up soon. So thank you. Colonel, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing real fine, thank you. Since we're talking budget, I thought that I'm Colonel Ron Avor from City of Centralia, actually outside the city, but I represent them on the Flood Authority. And one of the budget issues that was in the paper last week indicates that the Flood Authority will be getting $42 million out of the capital budget. And that money now, where it had been going through the RCO, it's going to go through the Treasury Department and be managed by the Chehalis River Basin Office in the Department of Ecology. What wasn't said in the paper, that in addition to that 42 million, there's another 10 million of federal money that comes in, which will be used predominantly for the aquatic species restoration. So its total is about 52 million. And the other thing that we don't know yet is how much ecology is going to pare off of that budget to support their staff work in this area. So we'll see a lot more, and I would point out that whenever you hear the capital budget coming up, it's usually the last budget that's approved. It's often held hostage
Yes.
for
Negotiation.
for negotiations. So thank you.
Any other questions? Or-
I have a question of you.
Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner Stamper, tell us about your advocacy that you were doing in Washington, D.C. last week.
Oh, okay. Well, one of probably the most dominating thing is I went back there and talked to met with Bob Widener and a number of representatives. None of the representatives, but their budget or their budget writers. And it was over Secure Rural Schools. And I was just talking to Eric a little bit before that, Eric Martin, and he said it sounded grim. Well, I don't think it's as grim. I think it's still alive and well. I know they're going to have a short window, but that literally means about $1 million to the road department, and not to mention the Title II program, which really funds a lot of the different projects within the county, as well as some money into the county coffers. So that would be and as I told Kathy Morris Rogerson's aide, I said that would devastate Lewis County if we didn't get that. And so anyway, and she is like basically third in command in the, as far as in the House of Representatives. So, and I will be sending an email off to her reminding her of that. And I talked to most of our Washington representatives too, as far as making sure that we support that. And our lobbyists back there, I don't know if the lobbyist is a politically correct term, but there's a lot of them back there. He is working very, very hard and meeting with the Speaker of the House, Representative Ryan. So I know that they're working on that right now, and there's letters that's going out. So, and I know that they're going to apparently Congress takes a pretty nice little Easter break, like 3 weeks, I guess. So I've never heard of that, but apparently that's what they do. And so when they get back, though, they want to have everything in place before this. So basically, it's going to be, this week is going to be really important. And then there's going to be about a week left before they actually vote on it. So it's going to be necessary to have all those pegs in place, so to speak. So that was the big thing that we went back there for. And there was some FERC stuff, and there was some U.S. Forest Service stuff too that I had an opportunity to. Hopefully they'll. It's nice to be able to talk to those individuals at the national level, though, because they did a good job. They listened, I think, because I asked a lot of questions because where I'm from, I don't know the answers, and I'm not sure what protocol is as far as politically, but I don't really care. If they say that, well, you can't ask those questions, I would just say, okay, I'm sorry, but I asked it anyway. So it went very well, though, and basically I was there from Friday, and we got in late, so I met with Bob Widener, our timber lobbyists, on Saturday, and then we kind of laid the groundwork out, and I was virtually had meetings every day. So, but you have to be fluid on your schedule because there's a lot of other congressional things going on, so you have to be very fluid. And we actually got in there for the health care vote. We got to the door, but then obviously they postponed it, and so we left. We went in, but then just in time to hear him say that they came in and said they postponed the vote, so everything was adjourned at that point in time. So anyway, so it was kind of a unique situation, though, to see how it works, and and how everything, how they're, and I do think they do care. Obviously, they're very compassionate about what we're trying to do, and they do listen, so I was encouraged by that. So I think we've got some other things going on, and maybe I'll be able to share at some point in time, but I'd like to have some things in place before I move on with that information. So.
And you did stop at the Army Corps, right?
Yes, I did.
And you had some discussions.
Colonel Buck. Actually, they're meeting with Herrera Butler's budget writer policy writer is meeting with him today. They were supposed to meet last week on Thursday, but then he sent me a text saying that they were not going to meet until today. And that is over the permitting, because I specifically asked about where the Port of Chehalis is with their permitting on that project. And so I should be hearing something from them. And I talked to Randy Mueller about it, letting him know what was going on there. So so I had some good discussions there too. And again, and I asked the policy writer specific things. Just let us know where we are with that process. So, and I had some conversations with Randy. So hopefully that'll get done, and we can move forward with that. So it was very good though. I'm glad to be home though, I can tell you that. Anything else, Sir Commissioner Jackson?
Not today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here, and we'll be around for a little bit here, so feel free to come up, and I guess we got to sign some things here too, so thank you again.
You are invited to immerse yourself in the beauty of nature in all four corners of Lewis County, Washington. From our fields to your table, farms in the west share their bounty. Limitless landscapes, forests and mountains beg to be explored in the east. Fish our many rivers and lakes in the south, and discover where history and culture intersect in our twin cities. Explore it all by visiting our Facebook page and plan your next getaway at discoverlewiscounty.com. Culture, history, and adventure all come alive when you discover Lewis County.